So we'll just see. Well, in a classic Lachlan fashion, we'll just kind of see where this one fucking ends up. I have a lot just banging around in my head at the moment. Imposter syndrome, call to average, the the hard thing just being the hard thing. The authenticity is the key to success and happiness. That you do truly need to just surrender to the path. All these kinds of different and conflicting thoughts banging around in my head at the moment. Today was one of those days, and I felt good to start off with, and it just takes some of those simple backslips. Not serious stuff like not falling off my plan, but like backslipping into old habits that I'd left loopholes in. And this is what I keep talking about. This zero choice mentality fucking matters. And I left some loopholes open for this. I didn't make it a clear, definitive thing. And it completely derailed my day. And it's kind of left me a little bit shook, to be honest. Like, I had plenty of time. I had all these things to do, and I was like, I'm gonna crush it today. Today's gonna be a great day. Didn't do any of that shit. It just kind of flew past, and that's not how today was supposed to go. That's not how today needed to go. Today needed to be a good day. And if I'm being truly, completely fucking honest with myself, I'm deeply disappointed about that fact. It should have been better. It just really, it should have been better, and it wasn't, and that annoys me. It annoys me rather a lot, actually. But that's the thing with this whole process, though. It's about just continuing to show up. Today, I wasn't, completely the man. As I said, those zero choice mentality things got done. All the things that I have zero choice on got fucking done. My workout, my walk, my, nutrition, my grounding, my reading, my all that kind of. Oh my god, I'm sorry. My posting, this content, those things got done because I have a zero choice on them. The other things, they didn't, and that's a problem. And the honest answer is that I'm being a bitch about it. I'm not owning this because I know what going zero choice mentality on those old habits is going to mean. I know what it means that I'm going to have to give up. And I'm hiding from that because I don't want to give them up, and that's more of a reason that they need to be, because I'm holding too tight to things that don't serve me. So I need to just pardon me, man the fuck up and do that. I need to just step into that power and actually do the work I said I was going to do, and make it a zero choice mentality. Make it that I have to openly confess to all of you that, if I fail on my greatness list, if I fail on TV, if I fail on social media, if I fail on any of those things and I backslide into those bad habits, that I start again the 126 to greatness at day one. Because I think that's the biggest one I haven't. That's the biggest motivator, the biggest carrot and stick all at one time that I have going for me right now. So I think that's where I'm going to go. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. But yeah, I think there's a lot floating around in my head at the moment, and it's an interesting one because, like, as I said, imposter syndrome. The more I get down this path, the more I realize that you truly have to embody the man that you know you should be. You have to live as if. You know the man you're becoming through these actions. You know who you're stepping into. You know where this is leading you. You know where you're ending up. You have to own that. You have to step into that power and act as if. There's some truth to fake it till you make it, but it's not faking it. It's recognizing who you are becoming and acting as if. So you're not faking that that's who you are. You're just acting as if until it fully becomes embodied in you. That's the powerful action. That's the important one. And I think there's something deeply, deeply important in that act. And they talk about it in, law of attraction and all those kinds of stuff. Act as if those things have already happened. Act as if you're already a millionaire, you already have the six pack, you already have all those kinds of things. The things they don't talk about on the flip side of that is the imposter syndrome that comes with that. Like, I know at the end of this 126 days that I'm going to be in incredible shape. I'm going to be shredded. I'm going to feel good. Life is going to be great. Flip side, I do not feel that way today. And, today, for whatever reason, I felt deeply ashamed of how I look and what shape I'm in. And it brought on severe imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to get onto this platform and talk about what you must do and how you must live your life? And I'm like, my body's telling the world that I am not that person. Granted, those are actions of the past, but they're still there until I fully embodied and lived this life for long enough. There is still writing on the wall of who I used to be and the actions I used to take. And yeah, I need to do better. I don't think I'm just exhausted. I need to do better, be better, act better. But I've got to continue overriding that imposter syndrome because I know I am stepping into that man. I know I'm becoming that man as we speak. But yeah, some days it feels like, you're just not, though. You're just not that guy. Not yet, anyway. And that's hard. That's a hard part to swallow of this journey, that there will be days where you're like, fuck, what are we doing here? Who am I to be that guy, to claim those things, to act as if? But who are you not to be? Who are you letting down? Who are you failing by returning to that person? Letting that imposter syndrome win. What's going to make it better? Continuing down the path, continuing to do the actions that you said you would do, that will lead you to be that man and to embody that man that you should be. Or being like, I'm a fucking imposter and quitting and going back. This life, this transformation, this journey, this chasing greatness is hard enough as it is without you quitting and starting over. So don't fucking let that voice in. Do not let it kowtow you. Don't let it speak to you in that way to convince you that you'd be better off quitting. You are fucking not. And beyond that, and it's the thing I preach the most, and I struggle with it. It is the key to success, but fuck do I struggle with it sometimes. And it's funny because I was having this conversation with a friend today. You need to stop focusing on the results and just do the fucking work. And when I get caught up in these things, because as I said, it makes me uncomfortable. I don't like that I still have a gut. Look, granted, you can see in the pictures that I am making progress. It's on the scale, it's in the strength, it's in how I show up. I am making fucking progress. But it doesn't mean I don't like what I see in the mirror. And that's a hard pill to swallow. It truly is. But I have to let go of that shit and just focus on doing the work. Did I work out today? Did I do my weighted walk? Did I do my nutrition? Did I do the things that are progressing me forward? Did I do the work? Yes. Then I won today. That's all that fucking matters. You don't need to stress about looking into the future. You can't get depressed about looking into the past. You only focus on today. Did I do the work? Yes, no. It's binary. That's the only thing that you quantify on. And, we were talking about this for the posting, for all this kind of stuff. And you need to get away from the results and just do the work. And it may take 126 days. It may take 6 months. It might take 12 months. It might take 18 months. Doesn't fucking matter. What matters is who you are and who you are showing up as. When you show up every single day as that man, as that guy who's going to do the work, it just shifts and it aligns for you and things come together. And that's all you can do. And it's about being authentic within that. We spoke about this yesterday. Being authentically you is the highest thing that you can do for your life. And not just for your life, for all those around you. Being authentically you. People respond to that. They react to that. Things will just go better when you are who you are meant to be. And you're honestly that person. You stand in that power. That's where it's at. That's where your power lies. That you have to authentically act as if. And, we can see it in content, we can see it in social media, we can see it in how we're reacting to the world. We don't want perfectly edited, the best version of ourselves put out there. What we want and need is just to be us, raw and authentic. This is, you get us warts and all. This is who we are. End of story. When you can live like that, your life gets better. People respond to you better. Things flow better. And I think, I know I've got a random mix of things of like hyper discipline and woo woo, like what people would call woo woo, law of attraction, law of action, those kinds of things. But I do firmly believe it. Like, for whatever reason right now, I'm being called to Austin. I've got nothing on that. I don't even know why, but I feel like I need to be in Austin. I feel like there is something there that is the next step in the process. And when it comes to that kind of, law of attraction, law of abundance, law of action, all that kind of stuff, like, I'm not going to force that, but I'm well aware that the universe keeps seeming to be nudging me towards that, to living in Austin. And I find that a fascinating one. And so when we talk about these kinds of things, like who you're becoming, the man you're becoming, and doing those kinds of things, I think when you authentically step into who you are and you surrender to the process and just do the fucking work, the universe or God or whatever you want to call it will just guide you and nudge you and push you down the path into the perfect place that you need to be. And you are too close in the moment to recognize it. So you just need to hear those little whispers that as they come to you, accept them, surrender to the process, and see where that ends up. I think we spend too much of our time trying to force our lives into these neat bubbles of, this is where I should be. I need to make $100 million by this date, doing this, this, and this, and this. Yeah, you need a plan. You need a reason. You need something to aim for and focus for. But also, let the universe kind of guide you into where that ends up. And I know that sounds woo-woo. And if we went back 5-10 years, I would have been like, what the fuck are you on about? And I've seen too much of it in my life. I've seen too much of this to not go, that's the way. You need to surrender to the universe. Do the work. Do the work that'll move you forward in the things that you want in your life. But at the same point, be open and welcoming and allowing the universe to just deliver things in perfect timing and perfect harmony to you for the next step. And stop trying to look ahead, because you can't. You can just be present in the moment. All you can control is your actions today. So forget about pushing forward. Forget about being like, this is the next 25 steps that I need to take. Just focus on the work, falling in love with the work and just doing the work. But there is a line of it, and I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, and again, talking about the universe just aligning and pushing the things I need towards me. And I didn't even know how this episode came on, but it did. And it was with Steve Rinella, and he was talking about when he first started podcasting. He's like, surely you had a plan. You had an idea that this was going to end up where it is, that it was going to be the biggest podcast in the world. And he's like, I had no fucking clue. All I knew was that I loved doing this. It was fun. So I did it. And there's some truth in that, in like chasing things that light you up. It's why I talk about you need a purpose, a challenge, and something to go to war with. Because it fuels you, it lights you up when you can find things within you that are authentically you and you just do them. Everything just moves out of your way. It'll just eventually work out. It's the same with this. Like, even if nobody ever watches this, even if nobody ever comes across this and sees this, it doesn't fucking matter, because this is for me. I enjoy this. This clears up my thoughts. It clears all the shit out of my brain. It's like the, speaking version of a mind dump. I just get to get this stuff out of my head and into a semi-coherent format to work through this stuff. Like, as I said, I was a jumble. I was a mess before this. I feel better now. Like, I feel like I've talked through this stuff and I've kind of gotten a better idea where my head's at. And to be honest, I'm kicking myself that I didn't just come and do this sooner, that I didn't just, when I was feeling that backslide, like, I do apologize. I could see myself. I have these like out of body moments where I'm watching myself do something and I'm just going, what are you doing? You know better than this. You know that it's not going to deliver what you want. You know that you're not going to be happy with yourself at the end of this. So why are you doing that? I should have taken a step back and gone, well, I'm going to go do another episode. I'm going to go make day 52 of this. Get it all out. See what flows out. And then see where I end up. Because, there is a lot to be said for that. And as I said, like a mind dump or journaling or things like that truly have an exponential place, because up in our head, we can magnify things, we can justify things, we can amplify them to the 10th degree. Like, we can blow things out of complete proportion because it's just an echo chamber. There's nothing there to like silence it or to go, hey, maybe that's fucking crazy. Like, maybe we shouldn't be doing that. But when you get it out, whether it's written format, spoken format, I think written format, if you're not going to do it in this kind of medium, is probably the best option, like a mind dump thing. But when it's out there for the world to see, you suddenly go, huh, what the fuck was I thinking? That's a completely irrational thought process. Maybe I shouldn't act on that, Like, it's the low end gear of like those negative thoughts that come into your head and, those crazy actions that you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't act on those things. So good. If you let them exist in the echo chamber of your head, who fucking knows where you'll end up? Get them out. Speak them out loud. Write them down. Put them into a format where you can sit and look at them and go, right, that's not a good idea. And then learn from it. Learn the signals that led you to that point. What triggered this? Like, I know what triggered me today. And I need to put in something before that trigger comes. Or at the very least, if I get triggered like that, to then go break the cycle. And part of it's I'm tired. Part of it's I don't want to do the things that I need to get done. And I had this conversation with a different friend today, and I was like, that's the next phase for me, not for 126 greatness as a whole, but for me, that the challenge, the purpose, the going to war is maintaining the mask for a little bit longer. That's where I'm at the moment. That's the challenge, that I've let the mask slip. I let some of and look, I'm going to take this off at the end of the year. I'm going to take this mask off that I've been wearing for a decade. But at the moment, it's what's feeding my family. It's what's keeping a roof over our head. And until that changes, I have to keep that mask on. I cannot let it slip. And the challenge is I have to keep showing up and doing the work on that front. And so that's my challenge. That's my war that I have to go through. I don't want to do this anymore. It deeply hurts my soul to have to show up and do these things. Like, one of the clients I had to deal with today, and to be honest, I shouldn't talk about it on this, but it's the reflection of why I'm struggling with this. And I had to convince her that, exercise was important. She was like, oh, maybe I'll just go have surgery. It'll just be easier. And I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about here? No. Even if that does work, you still then have to exercise. You still then have to do this shit. But we as a society are built towards finding the easiest way out, the simplest option, even if that comes with greater consequences and hurts us down the track. And I'm just not there anymore. I'm just not there to handle that. And I just can't keep doing that. So, yeah, part of my challenge and my war at the moment is I've got to maintain that mask. I've got to maintain that what level of respectability and empathy and understanding. Because there's also nothing wrong with this. These overall, not overall, these people are still trying to improve their life, not on the way I see that we should do it, not on the all or nothing zero choice mentality, but they are still doing good. It's just I've been doing this as a shadow career for a fucking decade. I've been hiding from myself, and now that I'm stepping into it, Dr. What is it? Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll, or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, they're blurring. They're Jekyll is coming out, and Dr. Hyde is no longer there, and able to control it anymore. So I have to step up, because, as I said, it's still how I'm looking after my family. And until I step fully into this, authentically me, and monetize this version of me, I have to keep playing that game. And that's a hard fucking pill to swallow. But I'm all about doing challenging things. I'm all about pushing myself and doing the hard things to improve my character. So this might be my hardest challenge yet, and yet it's my most important one. That's okay. So I'm going to step up. I'm going to rise to that occasion. I'm going to do the things, and I'm going to go out on a fucking high at the end of the year. I'm going to sell it and move on and be happy with my life. But I've got to do the work. I've got to fight those demons and face this down until I reach that point. And when I reach that point, then all that work will be worth it. Not only from doing the process, but about sculpting out the man that I need to be. And that's the part I'm focusing on. It isn't about the end goal, although I know it's coming and I am excited about that end. But at the moment, it's about being the best version of me and sculpting that man into reality. So I've got to face the hard things, and I've got to face them with a smile, and I've got to enjoy the process. I might not enjoy the work, but I enjoy the work. Like, does that make sense? It's not doing that specific work, but it's about doing the work. And that's where the joy's at. It's where I find my peace. It's where I find my sanctuary, because it's just about showing up day in, day out and doing what is required. And I can do that. And I need to own that. And so I will. And it's going to be a fascinating journey. And I can't wait to share all of this with you as we go through this fascinating time and development. And as I share this journey of how I sculpt the man that I know I should be into reality. And I think it's going to be wonderful. I can't wait to share every authentic moment as I find who I'm meant to be. So until then, I will be back tomorrow with another daily dose of Lachlan Rambles as I do the work and I figure out who I am as a man, and I share that with you as I redefine 126 to greatness so that you can redefine who you are. Until then, talk soon.